Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick.
And this is a less hairy Justin, and we're here in a nice, comfortable couch.
Oh yes, another change of scene. This is
Something different.
This is where I'm recording for the time being, so get used to it. And welcome back to the Hangar Bay, our weekly show where we talk about your submitted X-Wing lists to the end of this rotation of factions and stuff.
Yeah. We're
Resistance.
here at the Resistance, and we are talking about the Resistance Transport. Not the Resistance Transport pod, but the whole thing.
Not the little thing with Finn that's actually doing really well in the meta right now. We're talking about the big sort of repurposed B-Wing fuselage thingamajig. Looks really cool. It's the thing that appeared in episode 7, bringing the Resistance and Leia and everyone to save the day. So yes, this is essentially a bit of old Rebel tech that's been repurposed on the Resistance. Has similar-ish stats to the B-Wing. The dial's very similar, apart from having the full stop and those reverse maneuvers.
Yeah.
8 hit points like a B-Wing, 1 agility. Only 2 red dice as opposed to 3, but it's had its gun stripped back so it can fit more people and aliens inside it.
Because it does, in fact, have 2 crew slots.
It does indeed, which is pretty significant for the Resistance, especially at this lower points cost. Our cheapest pilot is the Logistics Division pilot at 32 points, which is the only non-unique pilot. We'll talk about the other unique pilots when we actually have a look at these lists. But it's pretty cheap. The only other ship that has any crew slots on the Resistance is the Falcon, which is very expensive, as you'd imagine. It's the Falcon.
Yeah, it's also a large base ship, so
worth
a bit more.
Comes with a little downside of that. But the good thing is that means the Resistance Transport can actually be like a dedicated support for aces and not take up so much of the list that you can't fit aces on your squad.
And actually, all the named pilots here seem to do quite well in their support roles.
Yeah, for sure. They all feel like, kind of like lander shuttles in terms of the way they're meant to work. They help out the rest of the list. It's support or just enacting a bit of tomfoolery with stress. These things want to coordinate and jam and do it in a completely nonsense way. Stacking on lots of stress. We've got some really cool crew, apart from anything else, Core Seller, that's able to just dump all the stress off any platform on the Resistance that came in this pack.
Yeah. There's also a different way to do it with Leia.
Yes, that's right. Leia is fantastic.
Also ridiculously expensive. 19 points.
Oh, but
kind of worth it though.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Also, Admiral Holdo is a nice option as well. Lots of really cool crew options that are available. And despite the fact that you use a ship on the Resistance that can take those crew options apart from this, I think in most cases this is actually one of the more competitive options just because it is so much cheaper.
Yeah.
When you're leaning into that support role, you kind of want something that's cheaper anyway. If you would like to submit a list for us to have a look at in one of these Hangar Bay episodes, simply copy all of the text, including all pilots and upgrades, into a comment down below in one of our YouTube videos. Please also be sure to include a link to that squad within your favourite squad builder. Now, if you're unsure how to do this, simply head over to Yet Another Squad Builder 2.0. They have a fantastic squad builder built into this website. You have drop-down menus that can help you find all the upgrades and everything that's legal for the ships that you want to build with, as well as a simple text viewer that you can use to copy out all the text. And if you're part of the Patreon Discord, put all of this into the relevant list submission channel on that. Every week here, we are sure to include one patron list, so if you're part of the Patreon Discord, it means you have a much higher chance of being featured in one of these videos. Let's start off these lists by having a look at this one here, Talli Be Goode by Psych37 from our Patreon Discord.
Yes, so this has By Goode on the Resistance Transport.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have just butchered it. We also have Taliesin Lintra and Lulo Lampour on the A-Wing and Elo Atsi on the X-Wing.
So this is a new thing we can do, auto blasters on Elo Atsi.
Yeah, not too bad. It means that you can keep in nice and close dogfighting with everyone.
Yeah, that ability to do Talon rolls that are white. The Talon rolls here are at speed 3, so they're not super tight. At the same time, auto blasters now also fire at range 2, so it's actually okay.
Yeah.
I quite like that. And even if you're not using auto blasters and you're just relying on the 3 red dice, auto blasters are only 2 points, so it's not a lot of points lost.
No.
That feels pretty comfortable to me. That feels very comfortable to me, actually. But yeah, the new aspect we're talking about on this list is By Andrea Sticchi While you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you may execute red maneuvers even while stressed. So, just looking at this, there's lots of little combos here. So, we have that with Cora Seller. So, you can do a full stop, and then a full stop, and then a full stop, and then a 1 forward, rinse and repeat, if you really want to do that. That's kind of fun. With Pattern Analyzer, it means on the first time you do it, you can also do an action. Just bear in mind that Pattern Analyzer changes the window for your action, but it doesn't let you take actions while you're stressed. So it doesn't work with Pamh's ability that well. It's still handy.
So with Pattern Analyzer, it means that you can do a red action after doing a red maneuver, and then the turn after still do one more.
You have
red
2 stress.
Action. Yeah.
You do another. Yeah, it's true. That's kind of fun.
And then, Core Seller just to remove stress the next turn.
That's right. Cadal Conics, if you really want to make one of your maneuvers red, I suppose that's handy too. You can change one of those blue forwards. I think the 2 and the 3 are blue. You can make them white if you really wanted to. I mean, I don't think there's a whole heap of extra upside with Cadal Conics. I like her a lot on the Falcon, but
Could you use Cadal Connex's ability to then turn it to a blue maneuver to make Corseller go off?
No, it only increases difficulty. It doesn't decrease difficulty. It's not up or down. It's only up. Which is fun on the Falcon because, as I mentioned when it was revealed, you can turn an S loop into a 4 forward. Which is really, really fun. Isn't it? Yeah, it's really, really cool. So there's some fun interactions there. I don't know if it's super crucial here. I mean, apart from that, Iloasti, a couple of A-Wings. We know the A-Wings are good. We don't have to explain that right now.
Yeah.
And a nice... this weird interaction with all that stress. I like that a lot. And while you're doing all that, you're jamming and you're coordinating. And that seems to have a lot of upside.
Actually, what you could do rather than Cadal Connex is use C-3PO.
Yes, you could use C-3PO if you really wanted to. That way you're always getting extra calculate tokens while you're doing all the other stuff we just described.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. It doesn't add a red coordinate because it's already got one. But that's okay. 3PO costs 6 points, so it's only 1 more point than Cadal Conics. Yeah, by the way, if we're talking very slowly, squinting and turning our head a lot, it's because this is a lot to think about.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Resistance lists have traditionally been just 4 of just X-Wings, A-Wings, and stuff and whatever. It hasn't really offered us things like this in the past, and I'm really curious about what it can do.
Yeah. Also, I don't normally fly. Well, I haven't flown them at all, so...
That's fair enough. No, me neither. My Resistance stuff's mainly been Falcons and X-Wings and that kind of stuff. Let's move on to the next list. Thank you for that one, Psych37. This is What's the Plan by Adam Leamey with Kovanel, Nodin Shavdri, and Poe Dameron.
Yeah, now Kovanel has Heroic, Leia Organa, and the R4 Astromech.
Nodin has Amelin Holdo, Core Seller, R4 Astromech, and Angle Deflectors.
And Poe Dameron has Heroic, R4 Astromech, Black One, and Auto Blasters. Obviously, S-Foils, always stapled on.
Always indeed. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Basically, we have a Leia Organa list. We've gone for a build here with 2 support ships alongside an ace. It doesn't matter, it's Poe Dameron, that's fine. Just auto blasted on there for a bit of extra upside. Again, it doesn't bother me that it's not always going to work. I think for 2 points, it's absolutely fine. So, 1 build with Leia and 1 build with Amelin Holdo. Okay, let's go through this one by one, because again, there's a lot to think about here. Back to Kovanel. While you defend and perform a primary attack, if the revealed maneuver on your dial is red, you can roll them the dice. Which is nice. It gives you a bit more defense for the carrier with Leia.
Yeah.
I like that. Leia also gives you 3 different ways to spend that force token. You can coordinate, you can improve the quality, or I guess decrease the difficulty on any maneuver on any ship, which is really good with Poe. Or you can use it to change a eyeball to a result during your rolls. All of those are very relevant.
Yeah. I mean, you do only have 1 force.
That
feels bad.
Yes, there's no way to get more. In fact, the only way to get multiple force tokens on the Resistance is to put her on a platform with the Ray Gunner or Ray and the Falcon.
Yeah.
Basically. I actually like all of those options, even Coordinate. I like this a lot because, yes, Covenel already has Red Coordinate, but sometimes you really don't want to get a stress token. And having the option and the flexibility is nice. Even though it may feel like a bit of a numbo, that's great. Rolling extra dice and then having a force token to convert more dice, yes, big thumbs up. That is a very clear way to get better results. And improving the dial on Poe, improving the dial on Covenel. I actually quite like that a lot. If we take a look, if the revealed maneuver is red, and Leia reduces the difficulty of the maneuver, so the revealed maneuver is still red.
Yes.
Yes, that's very cheeky. It's very cheeky. So it has lots of internal synergy, and it has lots of flexibility and a lot of power.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Also, just quickly, guys, always remember, when you're flipping over your dials, don't put them away. Keep them next to the ship.
It actually is in the rules. Somebody pointed this out to me. You're meant to actually have it out next to the ship, or rather next to your pilot card, so you can refer back to it. I think the idea is, if it's next to your pilot card, you're not meant to be able to fiddle with it. Yeah. Actually makes less sense in my mind, but anyway, yes, you're meant to keep it so you can refer to it later. There are more things in the game that's going to refer to it, and that's still going to happen the more things are released.
Yeah.
Down to Nodin Shavdri. I'm never going to remember these names. Again with Corsair. So Nodin is able to give you a free action after she coordinates or is coordinated, as long as she has 2 or fewer stress tokens.
Yeah, so that means that Leia Organa can coordinate her, or Covenel can coordinate her.
Yes.
Either way. And then
it's
she
all
can,
good.
Yeah, then she can do an extra action after being coordinated, or her herself can coordinate, and
that could be a reinforce, which could then go to Poe.
Yeah.
This is the thing about angle deflectors. Like, yes, I know it feels relatively innocuous in a lot of builds, but you've got to be careful with cards like Holdo. This is the kind of thing which might break it if indeed it ever does get broken. So Admiral Holdo. So this allows her ship to transfer things to Poe, or even Cova if you really wanted to. So you could give Poe a reinforce and take a stress off him. He even has black ones, so you could take a disarm token off him.
Oh, that's terrifying, isn't it?
Slamming the ship and then keeping it in range might be a bit of a challenge.
Range 1 to 2 is still pretty big, though.
Yeah. And look, if that was really the only thing you could do, I'd still say that's not bad for 9 points, but it also interacts with Covenel. And you can... Yeah. There are just so many options there.
Yeah.
Holdo looks legit.
Actually, you could take the Force token as well if you wanted.
No, you can't take Force tokens.
Can't take the Force?
So this is actually a good thing. It's a good thing you brought that up, because Force tokens and charges are not tokens sitting next to the ship.
Oh, okay.
They do not interact in that same way.
Well, that's good to
They're
know.
not technically tokens, although we use that term because they're a little piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
No, so you can't do that, but thank you for bringing it up. Cool. Any yellow token, red token, so we're talking disarm, tractor, strain, stress. What's that new one we're getting?
The new one is...
I don't know, we're losing track.
not disable. Deplete.
Deplete, yes, deplete. Well, this will be an option, whatever that does.
Yeah. I think mainly you're using it for the angle deflectors.
Oh, yeah, well, that's why it's been put on the list. I can clearly see that. Yeah. And look, I was talking before how Leia works so well on Covenel, just as a good flexibility. Having angled deflectors on Nodin Shavdri, I think it's also good to analyse this as, okay, what if Poe wasn't there? Is that still worth having? It's not bad. It's not bad.
If it wasn't Poe and it was some other ship, I still think it'd be pretty good, because
let's say it's the last ship you have. That's what I'm trying to... So is just having that reinforced good? I think it's okay.
Yeah, you're still going to be able to survive that little bit longer.
Especially if it is your last ship, so it's likely to have more guns facing it.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it when you have synergy, you have combos, but you're not relying on them to the point where if one of them blows up, the other one just suffers.
Yeah.
And I think this list actually does quite well at that. The only thing that I would criticise about this is the fact that you have 2 support ships and an ace. The support ships are not going to win games by themselves. They only have 2 red dice each. It doesn't have a lot of firepower apart from Poe.
Yeah, but at the same time, Cova's fairly reliably going to have 3.
That's a good point. No, that's a very good point. I didn't think of that when I said that. Yeah, okay, I dig it. And also with Leia, yeah, it seems cool. It seems cool. I still think Poe has to do a lot of work. But so with all that in mind, let's move on to this next list, because this is a list that actually uses 2 aces alongside a support role. This time we're not using Leia or Holdo, we're just using Node and Shovdry with a bit of a just all-round value build. We've got C-3PO this time. Noden has Pattern Analyzer, Ion Cannon, Advanced Proton Torpedoes, Coruscella, C-3PO, R4 Astromech, and Shield Upgrade.
Yeah, now Poe Dameron has Marksmanship, R4 Astromech, Integrated S-Foils, the Black One title, and Auto Blasters.
Taliesin has Heroic Crackshot, Proton Rockets, and Advanced Optics. This list is also by Andrea Sticchi, so thank you so much for submitting that.
Yeah. Now we've got a 6-point bid here. We've got...
A lot of upgrades. That's a lot.
Yeah. What have we got? A 5, a 6, and...
A 2. A 2. Noden is a 2.
Okay. So, like a bid would be nice, a bit bigger.
My philosophy with lists like this, especially when you really want to try and get a lot of value out of everything, is to fly it, take it to LGS, give it a go, and be really critical of the things that aren't doing work and just cut them. That's the way I build lists. I know some people don't really care about bids and just try and stack on as much as they can. It's totally up to you. That's just the advice I'd go with. You have a bid of 6 points, and honestly, you can just make the bid as high as you want. You have a 5 and a 6. The bid is always relevant. In fact, I, for example, would just cut Advanced Proton Torpedoes and the Shield Upgrade from Noden and just have a 16-point bid.
Yeah.
I think that, to me, would be more desirable than having those particular things. I don't think either of those upgrades are doing a lot of work. Unless, for some reason, you are getting, like, the world's best luck when it comes to Advanced Proton Torpedoes. I just don't see it being great on the Resistance transport.
Also, if you maybe cut Ion Cannon, you could switch either C-3PO or Coruscella to Leia.
Yeah. Wow, there is a lot of points there, isn't there?
Yeah.
That is something you could do if you really wanted to, and I would suggest looking at a Leia build. You've got to remember, as I said in the last list, Leia does a lot of things on one card. I know you can only do one of those things in any given turn, granted.
Yeah, but the ability to have that choice...
Choice is big.
Yeah.
Choice is very, very big. And I think that's probably better than having things that just aren't going to trigger all that often. Or like Shield Upgrade, which is... You're just going to lose that shield. It's not really that consequential in the grand scheme of things in a game. I've spoken about it before. I'm not going to harp on about Shield Upgrade. It's not a big favourite of mine. But yeah, apart from that, Poe and Taliesin. And there's nothing really to complain about either of them a lot.
No, Heroic, Crackshot, they feel good, especially with the Proton Rockets.
Yep, for sure. I mean, things like Black One, maybe Proton Rockets are things you could look to cut if you need to scale them back, but you pretty much don't in this list.
No.
In fact, if anything, each of these platforms do have a bit of bloat on them, and keep that in mind. If you are critical and you scale these back, maybe think about the torpedoes, the shield upgrade, maybe Black One, maybe Proton Rockets. That is enough points to turn Taliesin Lintra into an X-Wing.
Oh, that is true.
And that's the thing you can think about. You can get a Nina or an Elo list alongside Poe if you really, really wanted to. Now, I'm not saying that's strictly better than what you're doing. Just bear in mind this is X-Wing, and ultimately the most important thing is the platforms, not the upgrades.
Also, I've just realised, Heroic and Advanced Optics, that's sort of a non-bow, isn't it?
Let's just read through that and take a look, just so we know on the same page here. So, Advanced Optics allows you to spend a focus token to either change all of your focus results into hits, or one blank to a hit during an attack.
Yeah.
Heroic, while you defend and perform an attack if you have only blank results. I see what you mean. So, if you only roll blank results with Taliesin Lintra, you're already doing a bit of work with advanced optics. I think most of the time you'd rather just reroll everything.
Yeah.
Remember, you can reroll everything, and if there's still a blank, you can then change it with advanced optics.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
I don't know, like, realistically, I'd look at that and go, if you're going to re-roll again, I mean, sure, eventually you might re-roll double blank, but you're more likely to at least get a focus or a hit.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the idea anyway. I mean, look, ultimately you're right. It is slightly diminished returns because you're covering so many bases that several things overlap. I think that's okay, though. I think they're not really pushing the points as much as some other things on this list. Just be critical. I think that's a very important message to take away from this. Be critical of the kind of things that you're running. There is nothing wrong with running something like this as long as everything's firing on all cylinders. You just have to be aware of that. It's very easy to sort of fall in love with an upgrade that worked once and just did something really cool. And then you go, oh, I just want to recreate that moment. Yeah, it's just the kind of thing you just got to be cautious and really be critical of the upgrades you're using and make sure everything's nice and efficient. Let us move on to the next list. This one is by Thank You 7689. Help your aces.
Yeah, no, this is Nodin, Chavran, Poe Dameron, and Elo Atsi.
Cool. So this is a list with 2 aces alongside a resistance transport. Nodin has Pattern Analyzer, Llama, Darcy, Corsella, and R4 Astromech.
Poe has Heroic, R4 Integrated S-Foils, and Primed Thrusters.
Elo has Heroic and the Integrated S-Foils. No R4 and Elo. I suppose that's something you could do. I mean, it doesn't matter because he very rarely gets stressed anyway.
Yeah.
For 2 points, you're making your 9-point bid a 7-point bid.
Well, I was also going to say, Prime Thrusters is 9 points.
Yeah, if you want to have no bid at all. This list needs a bid.
Yeah, no, but if you cut Prime Thrusters...
Oh, I see.
You could then put 2 different techs on both Poe and Elo. Actually, Prime Thrusters is 10 points with an Initiative 6, so...
It is.
Cutting that to 2...
It is really good, to be fair.
Yeah, but...
It's 10 points. I know.
2 advanced optics. Good.
Yeah.
And 2 points.
Yeah, that's a good point. Advanced optics is 4 points each, so even if you had one of each of those on Poe and Elo... Yeah, I mean... it's crucial on Poe.
I love Prime Thrusters. I use it on Kylo. I know how good it is, but...
It's 10 points, especially when things are this tight. You really want to have a bid.
Yeah.
Elo is lacking a bit, so I think, there is a discussion. I understand that R4 Astromech has diminishing returns on Elo because he is not going to take as many stress tokens, especially as Poe. Poe is a stress queen. So, yeah, I mean, there's a discussion around all that. And Nodin with Llama Darcy this time. Okay, let's just read through this so we remember what all this does. Okay, so Llama allows you to do all of these actions, the reinforce, coordinate, and jam while you're stressed. And if you do, it's treated as a red action. And then Corsella to just clear all the stress tokens.
Yeah, so
this is the chunky stress build.
Yeah, so that means that you can have up to 3 stress in 1 turn.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You can't do anything else after that point, but then you got R4 Astromech to clear all the stress super easy.
Yeah.
The 1s and the 2, that's really good. That's really, really good, actually. So basically, you're just enacting this hyper-efficient action combo. Meanwhile, you're coordinating and jamming and supporting your aces. That just seems like a really solid strategy. I like the way this is balanced, by the way. I don't think there's anything wrong with having less points stacked onto Elo. The Prime Thrusters, it's got to do so much work. It's got to do so much work to be justified. And I think with the right pilot, that's the key thing here. You have to be really good at using Poe. I'm not that pilot. I'm the first to admit it. I suck with Poe. But if you're like a Sunterfell player of old and you are so good at the double reposition and planning out for the next turn, Prime Thrusters is going to be worth more than 10 points for you easy. Just be aware of that. Also be aware that the combined cost of all of the upgrades on Nodin is exactly worth Leia. So that's an option. Exactly, my friend. And Leia is interesting on Nodin because Nodin wants to do multiple red actions, or rather multiple red maneuvers and it can. That does shut off Leia's coordinate, but you can still use it to modify your dice, and that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
It still works in reducing the difficulty of your maneuvers. In fact, that allows you to do one more full stop in a row.
That's true.
That's kind of fun.
Just, keep that thing parked there.
Yeah, you can just keep it in situ and do all kinds of stuff. And Leia, the range in her ability is infinite. Leia's really good. Don't worry about 19 points. Just shh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Use it. Seriously.
You've got Ello and Poe that you can just reduce their maneuvers down even more, which means that Ello's going to be stressed even less.
Ello's never going to have stress. He doesn't even know what a stress token looks like. However, Poe, reducing the difficulty of his white maneuvers, making them blue, so he can push, or rather Poe the limits every single turn, and then it's very good. I like Leia alongside Poe. I think that's a really cool concept.
It's like they work well together.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like this build too, though. I'm not saying it's strictly better or worse. I think there's a conversation around it. And honestly, like in the comment section, let us know. This episode was a lot of us just going, that could, theory crafting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're here.
I mean, it's almost like we were a theory show to begin with.
That's it. We are a list squad building theory show that, this expansion has just added so much interest on the Resistance. It plays into what the Resistance is doing so well. It's all about being able to do crazy action combos, stress mountains, and just the support role this plays is similar to a Lambda, but it is just so Resistance all the way.
Oh, 100%.
It's so cool. Right now, it hasn't taken off in terms of Resistance flying. The transport pod has, and the standard X-Wings and A-Wings are still doing their thing. But hopefully we can see this creep into a bit of meta play real soon.
I think it's definitely got a possibility.
I think it'll take time to adopt, but that's
once it does, it's going to see a lot of play, yeah.
pretty standard for things this complex. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. In the meantime, do not forget to like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Reddit, and please consider supporting the Patreon as well. Right now, it's just the coolest thing in terms of supporting the channel. It's monetarily doing us way more help than anything like the YouTube ad revenue and that kind of stuff. So please, it would mean a lot. And of course, thank you so much to all of the existing patrons. We'll catch you both in the next video.
Bye.